Hey guys, Joe Tunney here at Infiniti of Kirkland in Kirkland, Washington, just outside of Seattle, where we're enjoying kind of a Chamber of Commerce day today after about 50 days of rain in a row. It's been a really tough spring season. We've had almost a foot of rain just this 1 month alone. But the sun is out, and when the sun is out, we start thinking about fun, sporty convertibles like this 2004 Honda S2000. Now, if you've never driven an S2000 and you're in the market for an S2000, there's two things you need to know. They're super, super important. Number one, you have to be skinny. And number two, you cannot be fat. There's just no other way to say it. It's just a very, very petite proportion car. But if you can fit inside of those petite proportions, it's one of the most fun cars in the world. And I don't mean that for small cars or for inexpensive cars. I mean for all cars. Ferraris, Vipers, old collectors' cars, whatever it is, the Honda S2000 stands tall with the very most exciting cars ever made. It's essentially a near hand-built car, built at the same factory in Japan as Acura's NSX, and it's something that is not a profit center by any stretch of the imagination for Honda. In fact, I'm sure they actually lose money ultimately on every one of these that they have sold. However, it has brought a lot of brand awareness and a lot of image and class to the brand of Honda, and is really one of the cool collector's cars ever. And if you're thinking about something that doesn't cost a lot of money that genuinely could appreciate significantly in value, the S2000 is definitely the way to go. Now, S2000, a lot of people thought in 2004 they should change the name to S2200 because they changed the engine a little bit. It was 1997 cc's up until 2003, and then it went to 2157 cc's. So you hear a lot of people say 2.2 liters, because if you round up, that's exactly what it is. The horsepower is exactly the same, 240 horsepower, but it's a different power band in the 2200 motor versus the 2000 motor, and they say it gives you better mid-range acceleration. Having driven a million of these over the years, I just don't feel it. It is a little bit more relaxed than the 2000 to 2003 model, but I kind of like the high-strung nature of the 2000 to 2003 model. This one, though, it is more of a daily driver. It is a little bit more civilized. Different rear suspension, which is a little bit softer. A lot of improvements, 17-inch wheels as opposed to 16-inch wheels. Let's take a look around this particular car. This car has only 55,000 miles, so super duper low miles for a 2004. And then these are the new wheels for 2004, 17-inch wheels. And so Honda actually was really resistant to going to these wheels because you say, well, a high-performance sports car shouldn't have skinny 16-inch wheels as the S2000 formerly had. However, Honda's a big believer in unsprung weight, and unsprung weight is the, you know, if you lift the car up on a lift, it's the stuff that hangs down. The wheel and tire being the two heaviest burdens in that unsprung weight. And so a heavier 17-inch wheel with a meatier tire, although might have some more ground gripping type of characteristics, ultimately the handling is not like crazy improved because that unsprung weight is heavier in this wheel. And so I've seen a lot of people pull between about 0.86 and 0.91 Gs. And for a rear-wheel drive car, which this is a rear-wheel drive car, and being so small, that's actually not fabulous numbers, but the performance overall in this car, it's just second to none. There's nothing quite like it. Taking a look inside, it's really, although Spartan to some degree, it is actually first class. I mean, this car is 10 years old, and we haven't washed it or anything like that, and the leather seats look fantastic. The doors look fantastic, and they look fantastic on most of these S2000s. The steering wheels, all the controls and what have you, even if they've been driven hard and put away wet, they seem to really have a very outstanding build quality, not just the engine and mechanics, but the whole car is actually built very, very well. Taking a look in the back and in the trunk area. Now everyone's going to say the same thing. Oh, it's got a teeny tiny trunk. Well, of course it's got a teeny tiny trunk, but as you can see, this current owner is utilizing it. You know, they got some weekend goods in here, and there's still more room for some duffel bags or what have you. For a normal person to the 99th percentile, the trunk is just fine. Is it small? Yes, it's small, but it is a serviceable trunk. I'll give it that. Also, you'll notice that 2004 has different exhaust outlets. In fact, it has a different fashion in the front, different rear treatment as well. The lights are different front and back, subtly, but they're different. And then the exhaust outlets are different. And then again, those big chunky 17-inch wheels. Let's take a look inside. Now, a lot of people will compare this to the Mazda Miata, and anybody who does knows absolutely nothing about cars. The difference, I guess, in a nutshell between this and a Miata is if you show up in a Miata, your friends will laugh at you to no end. If you drive down the road in an S2000, everyone's going to turn their head and be like, oh my god, that's one of those S2000s. That's the big difference. Nobody wants to be seen in a Miata. Everybody wants to own an S2000. Now this also, unlike the Miata, has a power roof, and so let's turn it to the accessories on position. You do need to have the E brake up to make the power top work, but that's not that big of a deal. I'll turn it on as well. So it's push button start, which is pretty cool, and then give it a little bit of gas. It sounds great. It doesn't sound like it has 240 horsepower. It sounds like a lot of four-cylinders sound. So it's a little bit louder, but it's not obnoxious by any measure at all. You'll see a lot of people trick these out and have a wide open exhaust, different intakes and stuff, but the horsepower gains are really not that much. You're better off just leaving it stock, unless you really know what you're doing and you want to do something truly adventurous. They all come the one way. They all come with a CD player, and then you have the volume control here, or you can just leave this closed and then you can do the volume control from up here. And the stereo is ordinary, but it's fine. There's no heated seats, there's no Bluetooth. I mean, I get it, everyone complains, but you know, they'll say like a car like a Z4 has a lot of the amenities that this car doesn't have. The one thing the Z4 doesn't have is any kind of soul. It's like one of the most unfun cars to drive among small sports cars. This car is absolutely thrilling. It is extremely well built, it is very, very fast, and it is very, very cool. Now, the 2004, it does have a little bit more of a relaxed personality, again, not just through the drivetrain, but in the rear suspension as well. It's just a little bit softer. And then again, it does get a little bit more grab around normal corners because it does have bigger tires than its predecessor. If I was looking for one to put into my own collection, I would get an early one. I really like the 2000 to 2003, and particularly like a 2000. I would think that's going to be the most collectible of the generation. However, a case can be made that the new and improved, so to speak, 2004 and newer models are definitely the way to go. They definitely look better. I mean, they look more modern, and then they do have more motor, and so more motor can't be bad. And they nice looking wheels and what have you. It's a cool car. This particular car with 55,000 miles still brings probably upper teens type of pricing. It's in excellent condition even though it's completely unwashed. This is, when we take in a car on trade, this is exactly what we like to see. Just dirty, but still you can show that it's a pure, original, unabused, low-mile car. Not some former wrecked, put-together chop shop car. This is actually a really neat car. Unfortunately, Blue Book and guides and what have you say it's not worth anywhere near that, so it can be frustrating in the real world to actually buy one of these because you're hoping you can buy this cool one for like 10 grand because some book says it's only worth 10 grand. Yeah, you're dreaming. These cars are much more valuable than that and very, very hard to find, especially in original condition and especially with super duper low miles. This is a really neat car. This particular car is a really neat car. I love the red color. I love the black interior. They've gone a little bit adventurous. They've had some blue interiors. They've had some red interiors. You definitely don't want those. The light blue exterior, again, that's on everybody's mind. You know, if there's 5 color choices, that's dead last for everybody. Everybody likes the black interior, and then whether you want to go white or gray or black or even red, all those exteriors are really, really popular. Yellow also, if you can find it, is super, super popular. If you have any questions about this car or any of the cars we have here at Infiniti of Kirkland or S2000s in general, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My name is Joe Tunney. I'm the sales manager here at Infiniti of Kirkland. You can call me anytime, 425-821-1600, or just drop me an email at joet@infinitiofkirkland.com.